Alright, we're going to be watching Dani, who is playing on PS4. I think it's Silver 2, something like that. And this is on Blizzard World. I don't get gamesense as a support. I watch some videos on gamesense, but it's so vague that I don't really find them helpful. I lost 10 games in a row now. I'm back to silver. It's really frustrating. I feel like I'm just getting worse. Can someone please explain how I can work on my gamesense? I mean, Anna, Kiri, and Mercy. Anna's my favorite. I feel like I make the most impact with her. And you linked 3 replay codes. I picked one of them. Okay, so let's do something a little different for this video. It's not going to be my usual, like, oh, let's go over all the different things that you do and, like, how can you improve on a micro scale. We're going to talk specifically about GameSense, right? What is GameSense? How do you improve it? What does it mean? And go through examples. So GameSense is kind of a catch-all term for knowing what to do, right, at the right time. That's all it is, right? Just knowing what you're supposed to be doing. Whether or not you can actually do it is a different story, right? So for example, you might say, "Oh, I'm Tracer. I need to go on the flank and I need to kill a support." Let's say that's my win condition, right? So you might understand that on a game sense level. Okay, I should go on the flank and I should go attack, let's say the Ana, but you might have bad mechanics. You might have bad movement. You might have bad reaction time. You might have bad aim, and then the Ana kills you. You might have the right game sense, like you knew what you're supposed to do to win, like you're killing the Ana in the flank instead of fighting the Reinhardt in the front, but you may not necessarily be able to pull it off. But regardless, that's what game sense is, right? Knowing what to do at the right time to help your team win. And it applies to every single hero, every single role. Everybody needs game sense to know to play well. So let's focus specifically on Ana, right? So for Ana, your game sense is going to come down to positioning, being in the right place at the right time, right? Healing priority, right? Target priority. Wait, who should you be healing at this moment in time? General, like enemy target priority. If you're attacking, who should you be attacking? And then ability usage. When to use your abilities and where to use the abilities. Okay, that's like the package of game sense options for Ana. And we're going to go through roughly 10, 15 examples of where your game sense could be improved. And you might the other thing you asked is how do you improve your game sense? Well, number one is just play more, right? You probably have, I don't know, 100 hours of Ana play, maybe, like if that, right? Maybe you only have 10, maybe you only have 5. I guarantee you, with 1,000 hours of Ana, you'll be dramatically better than you are right now. Just passively playing the game will make you better because you run into more situations, more experiences, and that makes you better overall, number one. Number two is that you can watch guides and videos on playing your specific hero, like Ana guides, like, oh, this is how I generally play as Ana, this is how I make decisions, etc., etc. Like, I save sleep for this, I use grenade as soon as I can, blah, 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 and look at that kind of content. Number three, you can just watch videos of higher ranked play and just watch like a higher ranked Ana, for example, and see how they play with Ana and where they decide to stand, what they decide to do, and then you'll passively absorb that information. And lastly, you can also look at your replays, right? Either you personally, or you can do what you're doing right now, which is you're getting somebody else to look at your replay and explain to you, hey, you made decision A, but you should have done decision B. And you're like, oh wow, that makes sense. And of course, you can get other people to tell you that, but you could also figure it out on your own, right? Maybe. All right, so now we've explained that, let's talk through specific examples. So let's look at 149. So you're playing defense here, you're playing high ground, which is fine, right? And you're trying to hold the point. Your team is playing up a gate. This is, by the way, a mistake, and it's going to cost your team the fight later, but that's fine. You can't control where your team decides to play. So you're playing up here. Bastion goes out, and he immediately is like, oh, he's going to swing wide, and he's going to go out. He's trying to gun everybody down. So right here, you have two options. You can either sleep or you can grenade, right? Those are the only two things that you should possibly be doing right now. Like, you should definitely be doing one of them because he's not protected right now. He has no shield, right? He's like relatively far away from cover. A sleep or a grenade right now could result in a kill. And if you kill him, you basically buy your team 30 seconds off the clock on defense, right? Because they're not going to be able to push with the Bastion, so they wait for him to respawn and then walk back up and then set up again. That's a big deal, right? Getting a kill on the Bastion right here is huge. In fact, let's step back and point out again, I see this in like pretty much all my replays. Losing one hero dramatically changes the outcome of the fight. Okay? In a 5-on-5 situation, you generally have a 50% chance of winning a fight. In a 5-on-4 situation, you have like a 75% chance of winning a fight. And in a 5-on-3 situation, you have like a 95% chance of winning a fight. So as soon as one person dies, that's often enough for the fight to be won. And if you win enough fights, you win the game. So again, one pick is really, really big. Right now, their Ana's actually already dead, but that's kind of relevant because you should still be playing this the same regardless. So you see that the Bastion's going to swing right now, and you neither sleep nor nade right now. See? You don't do either one of those things until it's way too late. By the time you even activate the sleep, the Bastion's actually around the corner. Right? See? He's around the corner right now, and that's when you activate your sleep. This is way too late. So this is an example of game sense, right? If you had better game sense than Ana, as soon as that Bastion entered turret form, right? So right here, I would have been sleeping right away, right? Sleeping or throwing a nade right now, either one, right? Whichever one is better or worse is actually kind of debatable right now, but definitely doing one of those things at this moment is the correct call. But instead you go 2+ seconds before doing anything. That's an example of a missed opportunity. All right, so at 156, you're going to hear Widow's footsteps. I've turned down the sound so you're not going to hear it, or people watching this video aren't going to hear it. You're going to hear Widow's footsteps right now, and then you're going to turn to the right and look for it. This is the correct thing, right? This is a good example of good game sense reaction. You heard Widow's footsteps. She might be coming out the right door low. She might be trying to headshot you. The correct move was for the turn and figure out where she is. Unfortunately, she's not in an angle where you can do anything about it, right? She comes up these stairs, right, which is what you hear right around here, and then she comes to this door and kills your Ashe. There's nothing you could possibly have done about this, right? But you made the right decision, right? You had the right game sense to understand, okay, A, I hear the Widow, B, I need to turn and react to the Widow. Unfortunately, it's something you can do. And that happens sometimes, right? You can't control every single possible outcome ever. But just noting that you made the right call there. All right, so let's jump forward. So we're going over to about 2:34. So they pushed in. Again, people are probably like, how did this happen? But they pushed in and decided to ignore you. And you're behind them. And you see that their whole team is trying to push into yours. And you have this juicy flank on the back of them. So one of the things that you basically never do is you never throw grenades and try to get kills. So if you throw a grenade right here, right? You throw a grenade, that's 50 damage, and you do a dart, which is 70 or 75? 75, I think. Yeah, it should be 75. So you do grenade. I think grenades actually might be 60. Anyway, regardless, it is one grenade and 2 shots to kill someone. That for sure. I know that combination, right? Whether that's 200 or 210 is irrelevant. So right now, you throw one grenade down, and then you double shot the Mercy, and then maybe you double shot the Widow, right? That's the game sense correct play here is, hey, I can get a kill right now by myself, no help whatsoever. No one on the team is looking at me. I'm in a really great, strong position. Even if I miss the shots, I can just cover at this point in time, right? And maybe my teammates will kill off the person who's wounded. Enormous opportunity. But what do? You see how you just kind of slope slowly and then you walk away? Then the Widow comes up to challenge you. This is actually a great challenge. You're favored to win this fight, right? Because you still have sleep and you have grenade. Again, grenade, dart kills her. In addition to the fact that you can also go for a sleep between darts to make sure that you actually, if you land it, it's free, right? And then try to make easy shots from there, right? Again, at any point in time, you could have thrown a grenade. You go for the sleep, a little late, and then they end up walking off. You end up winning this fight because your Bastion gets Junkrat gets a 3K with the tire. But I just want to note is that would have been huge for you to kill either one of them, or just simply throwing the grenade, missing darts, still would have been very, very effective here. So again, another missed opportunity, right? The game sense of like, what do I do right now? The correct call right here is, hey, they pushed in past me, they decided to deal with me, great. I see 2 people right here on the ground together, throw the grenade, right? Throw the grenade, try to get the kill. That's definitely the right call. All right. So this fight resets. So we're going to go over the 317. So your team's doing a pretty good job. Possibly might hold this all the way. And Sigma's going to lift right now, right? So in case you didn't know, Sigma's Flux, right, does 50 damage plus 50% of a hero's maximum health. So for a 200 health hero, it does 150 damage. 50 initially and 100 after that. So we look at these heroes, right? Who would die from this Flux on landing? Would Junkrat die? No, because it only does 100 damage after it drops him, right? Would Sigma die here? He will not, because he'll take way more damage, half of his maximum, which is 675 divided by 2 is like 390-ish, right? So he'll take 309 damage, but he's still not going to die. He still has plenty of health left. But the Baptiste is over here at 42 health, which means he's going to die on landing, which is exactly what happens, right? You could easily have saved this Baptiste right now just by healing him. And you see that he's visible on your screen. It's not like he's way off to the side or anything. You're not distracted. You're not being pressured. Nothing's happening to you right now. All you gotta do is heal Baptiste, right? 1 dart, 2 dart, he lives. But you see how you just kind of stare and you wait and then he dies. And again, as I mentioned before, losing a hero is massive. It dramatically reduces the chances that you will win a fight. Okay? Another good example of like, look, with game sense, right? If you play against Sigma and you've had a million fluxes happen in front of you, you instinctively identify which of them is 50% health or below, and you immediately start healing them. That's what game sense means in this context. All right, next one, 354. So at this moment in time, your team has still managed to hold until now. You just lost both DPS at once, which is really unfortunate. So at this point, you should think, hey, it is going to be a 3-on-5, right? Because the other team hasn't lost anybody. And the reason I know this is because I am looking at the top right. Okay, I see on the kill feed that my teammates have died, plus I can see in front of me that they've died. So I know it's a 3-on-5 situation. I know in a 3-on-5 situation, the chance of us winning is only about 5%. I don't want to play those odds, so my goal here is to retreat backwards. So I want to do a fighting retreat here. I want to get my Sigma out, hopefully, right? Sigma doesn't retreat, there's nothing you can do about that, right? But I'm going to get ready to retreat, so I'm going to drop, for example, back here and heal the Sigma, expecting him to play backside a statue, which is, in fact, what's sort of going to happen, right? You see, I should be over here right now healing my Sigma, keeping him alive, and then continuing this retreat as I can go, right? I could even sleep their Sigma right now to slow him down, and just continue the fighting retreat all the way to the back of the point to give time for my teammates to spawn, come back, and for us to potentially retake this. Okay? Instead, you notice that you do not do that. Okay? What do, despite the fact that it's a 3-on-5, is you stay high ground and you try to hold this position. But the problem is you start getting poked out, you get in trouble, the turret's above you, you're trying to run away from the turrets, you're running back here. Nothing you're doing right now is helping your team win the game. Right? Very important to notice. Nothing you're doing right now is helping your team win. You come back out again, you jump over here, you're super overextended, right? Again, anybody in their team could kill you right now. And also, you haven't been healing the Sigma the whole time, so the Sigma is extremely low, and then he's going to die. And the moment the Sigma dies, this fight's over. There's nothing you can possibly do to win. Okay? Again, if you've been conducting the fighting retreat, as I mentioned, right? Sigma's over here, right? You fall back over here, you're healing him, right? You fall back over here, right? You keep healing. Anna heals for an incredible amount of health. Anna heals for 92 health per second. It's extremely hard for people to out-damage 92 health a second, right? You could have broken the shield, right? The shield's actually like, half-ish health, right? You break the shield, right? Keep healing the Sigma, you throw a juicy grenade into 4 people, maybe you turn the fight. But you running around the back gives your team 0 chance of winning. Right? That 5% chance you made into 0% because you didn't make the right decision. Okay? Again, another example of game sense. All right, 436. So you're going to die in that fight, right? They cap. Now you're going to make a bad call here, which is a positioning problem. So your game sense tells you, hey, I'm going to follow my tank and I'm going to walk low ground right now, right? So you're going to walk all the way over here, and this is a mistake. You should have gone this way and up. Alternatively, you can go this way and up. It doesn't really matter. You're going to have plenty of time to rotate safely either way. But your goal is to get over here. This is the default location for Annas to play on second point in the first half of the point. On the second half of the point, you typically will be playing from over here, right? Possibly over here, or over here, right? Depending on a bunch of different factors, right? But for the first half, you're pretty much always going to be playing from up here or potentially down here, but I think up here is better, right? That is where you should be, because high ground is so important in Blizzard World. And I'm going to assume that you have not seen my map guide for Blizzard World, but if you ever watch that video, I will reiterate how critical second point high ground is and how a lot of people do not fight for high ground, and thus they never end up capturing this point. It is so important, so important. Okay, so if you're on high ground, you can see what's going on, and you can help control high ground as well by shooting people who try to take high ground. So this is not going to punish you right away, but this is going to eventually punish you. So we'll watch, right? So you're going through here, there's going to be some fighting, blah, 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 right? You're just doing your job, this is all fine, nothing noteworthy to mention. You're over here, etc., right? Still shooting, healing, right? Doing everything. Oh shoot, there's a Bastion, I'm dead. Well, that was surprising. How did this happen? There's a Bastion above you. Obviously, you're going to die here. Like, how are you going to stop this Bastion unless you had sleep available, right? How are you going to stop this Bastion, which you did? How are you going to stop this Bastion from killing you, right? Even if you sleep him, he wakes back up, and then he kills you after that, right? Like, it's a huge problem. Well, how did the Bastion get here? If we roll back, let's see what happens, right? Again, remember, you're playing down here when I'm telling you you should have been up here, which still allows you to see your Sigma, still allows you to see the enemy, still gives you cover, still gives you a safe retreat path. Okay? You should have been up here and been like, hey, look, there's a Bastion. And just gone shot, he's dead. Right? It's super easy to hit Bastion. He's a massive target. You also could have healed your Ashe right now and easily kept her alive, right? And she would have stayed here instead of dropping low ground, so she personally would have held that for you. Up here, again, 2 darts right here kills the Bastion. Even if the Bastion's mercy, you can keep shooting him while he pushes towards you, and eventually he pushes you out, fine. At least you forced a lot of pressure on them to, you could also nade him and just kill him, right? you buy yourself time and you never get picked off by the Bastion. But because you never help hold high ground, right? Because your game sense doesn't indicate to you, hey, high ground's really important here. This ends up happening to you, and once this happens, the fight is effectively lost. All right, so we're gonna come back over here. So 557. Okay, so you just lost 2 of your teammates, so there's only 3 of you alive, right? 1, 2, 3 coming out of spawn. You understand, hey, I can't push up right now. That's the correct call. But, well, sort of. I think you could have pushed up to here safely. But you know, like, I can't walk up to the cart and stop the cart right now. But you notice, hey, look, we got some time left, right? The cart's got probably 10-ish seconds to get here. So we can definitely contest this and have a fight here. Okay? The problem is you need to know that your team, your tank in particular, is not going to be able to touch it because your tank is still respawning. By the time they cap, the tank's probably only going to be out, depending on what hero they're, only out to like roughly here-ish, something like that. So you're probably going to need to nano somebody else to touch the cart here. That's my perspective, right? That's my game sense from having played Ana for, I don't know, 100, 200 hours or whatever, right? I know, look, we have to contest this to give ourselves a chance at winning this fight. Because if we do not contest this point, we lose by default, right? Again, if they cap the point, it doesn't matter whether we wipe the whole team. We still lost the fight, and they're going to have close spawn, and they're going to come out and they're going to wipe us anyway. So I have to think here, look, somebody's got to get nanoed here for us to win the fight. So I think even an early nano here would be fair. I think nanoing, for example, the Hanzo here would be reasonable, right? But otherwise, I'm thinking, look, I'm going to nano the Baptiste so that he can touch the cart. One of these two things has to be happening here, right? Either the early nano on the Hanzo to potentially get a pick, or the nano on the Baptiste to touch the cart. You'll notice here that you do neither one of these things. And your team's out right now, as I said, right? They'll be out roughly here when the point caps, and nothing matters here. This fight's already lost. You have 5 people alive, the fight's already over. Because they capped, right? The whole goal was to prevent them from capping. They capped, which means even if you kill all 5 of them, they're going to respawn right here. So it doesn't help you if you wipe them right now. So again, it was super important for you to recognize that, hey, look, the only chance we have at winning here is for me to do an early nano on the Hanzo for maybe him to get a pick, or nanoing the Baptiste so that the Baptiste could walk onto cart and stall it for a little bit more time, right? Nano Baptiste, when you're packing him, plus regen burst, plus lamp, can stall for a surprisingly long time on the cart, plus he can kill a squishy in 2 bursts. So, like, that's not a trivial threat, especially if the Sigma overextends trying to chase down the Hanzo. Okay. Also, you had time to rotate over here. You could have stood up here, threw a grenade down, and then dropped on the cart to contest yourself as well. So a lot of possibilities here, but they all focus around understanding the core objective here is stopping the cart from capping. Nothing else matters if you don't stop the cart from capping. I would sacrifice the Hanzo here if it meant getting my Baptiste to the point to stop the cart. Right? Really, 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 really important. Okay. So we are going to jump to 742 now. So we're defending final point, and your Ramasha's going to pop ulti here. My instinct is, hey, my teammates are popping ultimate. I want to help them. How can I help them here? Well, Ana Grenade is like one of the most powerful abilities in the game because it blocks healing and it deals us damage. So if you chuck the grenade right here into, I mean, you can chuck it here, try to get 3, but I would just chuck it at the supports. You chuck it into 2 supports, it makes it so easy for Ramasha to kill both of them, right? Otherwise, the Life Weaver can keep healing the Ashe through the damage, and the Ashe isn't going to die. So throwing grenade right now is really, really important. Like, this is a critical moment for you I need to throw grenade right now. I need to throw grenade. I need to throw grenade. I still need to throw grenade. Like, you got a lot of time there to react to this and be like, look, gotta throw grenade, 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 right? You get 4-ish seconds, right, to throw that grenade, and you just don't throw the grenade. Right? That game sense has to be there, which is like, look, my Ramasha's full health. He's not going to die, right? He's ulting. Like, his survival is not my concern right now. I have to help him get kills, switching from a defensive perspective to an offensive mindset to make sure that my Ramasha gets the kills. This ultimate has to get value or we're going to lose. That's number 1. Number 2, Ashe is going to pop Bob here. Now, the Bob is pretty close. It's hard to react to this, so I understand, like, that this happens, that you aren't able to sleep it initially. But at this point, like, sleeping the Bob here still can give you some value, right, to at least slow down what's going on. But throwing a grenade here that hits, for example, you and the Ramattra and the Bob can also help here, just to help keep your Ramattra alive, right? Your Ramatra's clearly taking a ton of damage. The shield is back up, so it's blocking his ability to drain the enemies. Not that it heals him, but just noting that. So you're not going to get a kill anymore. The window for you to get a kill was right here. But once you wasted that opportunity not grenading, now you've switched from, hey, can we get kills, to, hey, can I keep my Ramatra alive? Okay, as long as your Ramatra lives here, still a winnable fight. You're not advantaged, right? You're actually disadvantaged, but better than having my Ramatra die. So again, sleeping the Bob right now to give you a little bit of time, right? Then grenading the Ramatra and the Bob, right? And then healing your Ramatra should be more than enough to keep your Ramatra alive. But this is where, A, you're too slow to react. B, you're off target with the grenade, right? And C, you're just not healing the Ramatra at all right now, which is really problematic. Okay. Again, with Ramatra dead, it's super hard to possibly win this fight. All right. Regardless, your team actually still ends up holding it somehow, but it's what it is. So now we're gonna jump over into offense. Okay. So you decide to go Kiriko. My first guess here is that I think you're significantly worse at Kiriko than you are at Ana. I would note one of your biggest problems is that you don't weave, which I will include a guide on, which is attack, attack, heal, attack, attack, heal. Very, very important to do as Kiriko. You must be attacking. If you think you can play Kiriko by only healing, you will not get very far. I know, because I tried doing a challenge of this, and I only got to like plat something, even though I can play Kiriko in Masters. So you have to attack people in Kiriko. It's just not going to work otherwise. So, anyway, at this moment in time, your team is going to be pushing, and you should recognize, look, with two supports, whose job is it to heal whom? All right. Generally speaking, some supports are better at healing tanks. Some heroes are better at healing DPS. Any hero that can consistently do a lot of healing to a large target typically heals the tank, versus heroes that do a lot less healing, but it's a lot easier to aim, typically are the ones that heal DPS. Right. So, for example, Baptiste is great at healing tanks, right? He needs to splash the grenades on the ground, and he wants some place where he can shoot, heal, heal, right? And keep things nice and straightforward and easy. He doesn't want to be like looking to the right or looking in the air and trying to heal people. Brigitte is typically someone who heals DPS because her packs don't miss, but she can't do that much healing in general, so she's usually in charge of healing the DPS, okay? Kiriko is an interesting one because she's flexible. She can actually do both. But in this lineup, since Baptiste mostly only heals the tank, your goal should be healing the DPS, and you need to have the game sense to understand what my job is every single game, because it's going to change every single game, especially when you play multi-use flexible heroes like Kiriko, right? Ana's actually in the same category too, where she can also heal both DPS and tanks reasonably well. So why do I mention this? So your Junk's going to take some damage here, right? So he goes in on the left, right? He's already taking some damage. He's going to take some more 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 damage, right? And he goes all the way over here, right? Until your Baptiste comes over and heals him. That should have been you. This whole time, this should have been you, right? You see how you play way far back? I think this is a problem because you're probably an Ana main. So you play like where Ana would play, which I think is a reasonable spot for Ana. This is not a good spot for Kiriko, right? That shield is blocking you off completely. So for perspective, I think it takes like 18 kunais for you to kill a shield. You're going to be attacking the shield all day. It's just not worth your time to be attacking shields as Kiriko because you only do 40 damage per attack. You, after you see this Junkrat get low, should have swift stepped over to him, if not followed him in to begin with, been here, healed him out, right? And then been poking from here, right? And then follow your team over here and give your team this off angle to apply pressure. Don't be playing the same spot as your Baptiste. Now, this might not seem like such a big deal now. It is going to become very obvious later why this is a big problem, like why it's a bad habit of yours. So we're going to jump over to 1130. So this comes in your other problem. So you throw Suzus when you don't need to throw Suzus, okay? From a game sense perspective, you should always think, do I actually need this Suzu right now? Because Suzu has like a 14-second cooldown, so I want to make sure that I only Suzu when I absolutely need to. So you're jumping over to an Orisa who is fortified, right? So she takes half damage. She's fortified with 381 health, which means effectively she has 760 health, and she is around the corner from the whole team with only the Cassidy, who's clearly running away, and a Sigma here. It is mathematically impossible for the Orisa to die right now, right? So game sense is me, right, as Kiriko, right, as a Master's Kiriko, I can think, well, I know how much damage Sigma does. Sigma only does like 72 damage a second. I know my Orisa has effectively 700 plus health. It's going to take 10 seconds for the Sigma to kill the Orisa, and I know there's no possible way that the Sigma is going to stand here and shoot at the Orisa for 10 seconds. So I don't throw Suzu here, right? I think teleporting was okay, but I do not throw Suzu here. I think it's so obvious to me, right? Obviously, way more time and experience than you do. It's so obvious to me not to throw Suzu there, and now you don't have Suzu for the next 14 seconds. In this particular scenario, you will not get punished for it, but you will later, and we'll get to that. All right, so 1201. So we're coming out here, we're pushing in, space is made, right? At this moment in time, you have Kitsune. You, in fact, have a very early Kitsune. You'll see that nobody else has ultimates except for you and Lifeweaver, and Sigma's going to have his in a second. This is a huge Kitsune opportunity, right? Your Risa's already in, your team's full health, you're in position. I send Kitsune right now, right? That's game sense, is understanding, look, we're all in line, we're all together, we all have full health, the Sigma can't even do anything to stop anyone right now because he's grasping. I send Kitsune down, and then we fight, and hopefully we win it out, right? This is one of the best possible opportunities for Kitsune you can get, other than the fact that Sigma can flux your team. But you wouldn't know that at the time, and I wouldn't expect Sigma to have flux that early, so I would 100% be using Kitsune right now. That is what you should be doing to win this fight, okay? Really, really, really big missed opportunity right there. All right. So we're going to jump forward to 1303. So you're still struggling to win this fight, and you're going to see that your Junkrat is going to go in, right? Okay, yeah, you dodge that, that's fine. You go forwards. So remember, see Junkrat left side of the screen, right over there on the left. So remember last time you didn't heal him, okay? He didn't die, but he almost died. This time, Junkrat's in, he gets low, he's critical, and then he dies. You have plenty of time to swift step over here and heal, or Suzu, right? In this situation and save his life. And because he dies, your chance of winning this fight go from 50-50 to like 25% the moment that he dies. And now you effectively need to wait for him to respawn again, and that's going to basically take another 30 seconds off the clock. All right, so 1331. So once again, we're going to see another bad Suzu here, okay? Rhesus gets purpled. You get worried, probably, because you're like, oh, look, Suzu can be used to cleanse. I should throw Suzu here. You do not need to throw Suzu here. Again, Risa has 482 health right now. She's fortified, which means she effectively has 960 health. Actually, that's not even including the armor bonus, which just makes it even more significant. She has well over 1,000 effective health at this moment in time. The fact that she's purple means nothing. It doesn't matter at all. I wouldn't even bother Suzuing this. But you throw Suzu here when she doesn't need it, and now you don't have Suzu for the next 14 seconds. Well, is this going to cost you? Let's see what happens. We follow this through. Orisa goes in. Again, you should be following the Orisa in, and Orisa gets melted and killed. That is what Suzu should have been used for. Right here, she gets stunned. Now I'm throwing Suzu at this moment right now. Right? And again, you're late on that, which means Orisa ends up dying. And once again, you've lost another 30 seconds off the clock because a hero has died that you could have saved. Finally, last example. So going down to 1415. Right? Again, remember, my perspective is, my game sense is, if I'm playing, oh, your Baptiste is gonna die here. Yeah, that's kind of tough. You should have been healing the Baptiste, but it's also pretty difficult for you to heal the Baptiste through like 4 people. But my perspective here is, look, I gotta keep people alive here, right? Everyone here in the backline is full health. Oh no, the Junkrat's low because he's out of position, because he's not making good calls. But regardless, the point of support is to cover up for other people's mistakes. I would be swift stepping over here to the corner so that I could heal him, right? This is a critical moment for you that you don't do it, right? Again, teammate low, like you don't need to be healing your full health Orisa or your full health Soldier. You got to be healing your critical health Junkrat. So, another good example of game sense and the difference between having better game sense and having worse game sense. So the wrap up here, right? Independent of all the mechanical mistakes, micro positioning, micro decisioning, etc., I think that hopefully this is helpful for you to understand what game sense difference is, right? When you would make different decisions, right, in terms of ability usage, where to stand, what to be doing, and what are the inputs, right? What do you see that causes you to change differently? Like, oh, I saw 2 of my teammates die, I should pull back. Oh, like my whole team is grouped up and their whole team is grouped up and we're very close, I pop Kitsune, right? Oh, I see that my Orisa is antied, purpled, but she's at full health and is fortified, I don't throw Suzu here, right? These are all pieces that you need to process together and to make better decisions overall. And it's really difficult, right? Overwatch is probably one of the hardest games that exist out there. And so I'm not going to make it sound easy, but I'm just telling you that this is the type of information that you need to process to make better decisions. And again, we also walked through at the beginning of the game, beginning of the replay, how to make better decisions, or how to develop better game sense as well, right? Through various different ways of learning on your own, watching guides, watching higher ranked players, etc., etc. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Hopefully this was helpful.